And hello, one and all, and welcome to my live review for Monday Night Raw. We're going to take a look at what took place on the April 25th edition of Monday Night Raw. As you all know, this is the final edition, the go home edition, before Payback 2016, which is airing on the WWE Network this upcoming Sunday, May 1st. Overall, before I get into Raw itself, I have to say this build to Payback blew the build for WrestleMania out of the water. I have not, overall, I've enjoyed Raw on a consistent basis since WrestleMania 32 ended. It's been a long time since I've been able to say that, so I hope WWE is able to keep the streak of consistently enjoyable Raws going. I really think, like I've been saying, with the infusion of new talent, the call-ups from NXT, such as Apollo Crews, Enzo and Big Cass, Baron Corbin, etc., they've really brought new life into the show. Anderson and Gallows, another addition, and they really help, keep the storylines going at a good pace. And at Payback, we're definitely in store for some fresh matchups. So overall, I thought tonight's Raw was a solid episode. There was, some stuff I liked, some stuff that I didn't like, but overall, it kept me entertained for most of the 3 hours. So without further ado, let's take a look at what took place on tonight's episode of Raw. So we kick things off. Shane McMahon comes out once again, and he says, I'm in charge of Raw for the fourth consecutive week. Before he can even begin going, Stephanie McMahon's music hits. It was just Stephanie. There was no Triple H. She comes down to the ring, confronts Shane, and Shane says he ain't surprised that Steph's here. And Stephanie tells Shane that tonight is going to be your last night of running Monday Night Raw. And Stephanie said this Sunday at Payback, her father, Vince McMahon, will get into the ring and announce whether Shane will be in control of Raw for the future or Stephanie and Triple H will remain in charge of Raw. So basically, we are further flushing down the toilet that huge Hell in a Cell match stipulation at WrestleMania. It still just amazes me that they threw that under the bus. I mean, Taker's career was on the line. Shane lost, and then we're going to have this issue resolved at Payback. Storyline-wise, it makes no freaking sense whatsoever. But despite the glaring holes in the storyline, I'm hopeful that in the long term, I would like to see Shane versus Triple H. I really felt like that should have been, what we should have gotten at WrestleMania rather than Shane versus Taker, because it never felt quite right having those two face off. I feel Shane versus Triple H, who is a part of the Authority, married his sister Stephanie. There's much more to play off there. I feel like that would be an ideal feud to have happen at SummerSlam. You have Shane go over, just doing a little SummerSlam fantasy booking right here, and then the Authority is gone for good, and Shane is in control of Raw. I think that's the route we're headed down, but we'll have to wait and see. So Stephanie said at Payback, Vince will make the decision. And then it was funny. Shane held his hand over his head. Do you want me to be in control? The crowd would go, yay. Hand over Stephanie's, they would boo. Shane, cheer. Steph, boo. So they kept going back and forth, and that was kind of funny. And then Shane was pretty much told Stephanie, you got to leave. All right, this is my show. I'm in control tonight. So either you leave politely or I'm going to have security escort you out of here. Eventually, security would come down to the ring. As they were leading Stephanie out, she slapped one of the security guys. They eventually would drag her out of the building. So they were saying, na, 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 hey, 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 goodbye. So it was great seeing Stephanie, whenever she takes a fit and whatnot. It's great to see. And this was a solid opening segment, I thought. Then we had a pretty good match between Sheamus and AJ Styles. Very stiff, physical match. Sheamus with the physicality, AJ with more of the quickness, the tenacity, able to move in and out of the ring. and try and avoid Sheamus's hard-hitting moves. There were two nice looking backbreakers delivered by Sheamus onto AJ Styles. I thought that looked really, really nice. But AJ was able to pick up the victory after Sheamus missed with the bro kick, and AJ hit the phenomenal forearm. Then after the match, Anderson and Gallows would, they'd make their way to the stage, and they would pretty much cheer on AJ. Good job, buddy. You got the victory. So I really loved how throughout the show they played up the intrigue of who are Anderson and Gallows really working for. Whose side are they on? Are they working for Styles? Possibly somebody else that we might see at Payback. So yeah, like I said, solid match between Styles and Sheamus. Good way to kick off the in-ring portion of Raw. After this, we had the next segment. The New Day came to the ring, and they had a confrontation between themselves and the two participants in the number one contendership match at Payback. That would be the Vaudevillains, who made their way to the ring, and Enzo and Big Cass, and they went back and forth verbally on the mic. It was an all right segment. It was really nice seeing all three of these teams in the ring together. Enzo and Cass got a huge pop when they came out to the ring. I wish the segment would have just broken down into a giant brawl. All we really got was some verbal sparring, like I said, which was all right. Definitely really pumped to see Enzo and Big Cass take on the Vaudevillains at Payback. I think that'll be a good showcase of, NXT talent, and I think they'll go out there and they'll have a pretty good match, to say the least. Then we had the Usos versus Anderson and Gallows. Carl Anderson made his WWE debut, and Luke Gallows, who previously wrestled in WWE, this was his return match. So it was surreal seeing these guys finally step inside a WWE ring. And they took on the Usos. Like I said, they really took it to the Usos. Usos didn't really get too much offense in. They were really able to, it was smart. They attacked and targeted Jay's injured shoulder. When Jimmy would try, to get back in the ring, they eventually took Jimmy and just threw him into the barricade. Actually, excuse me. Gallows pushed Jay off the top rope and into the barricade. And like I said, they were able to isolate and pinpoint their attack against the Usos, and Anderson and Gallows were able to hit the Magic Killer for the win. Then after the match, they were beating down the Usos. Then Roman Reigns would make his way to the ring to a pretty good amount of boos, I'd have to say, and he would make the save on the Usos. So it was that was an effective way to have Anderson and Gallows go in there, take it to a team like the Usos. I feel are pretty stale in my opinion. I feel like they also need a heel turn like their cousin. So, but the point being is, I thought they showcased well in this match, and it'll be interesting to see. Like I said, I keep going back to the point of whose side are they on. So after this match, Renee Young was interviewing AJ Styles, and then Anderson and Gallows interrupted him. And they tell AJ that no matter what happens at Payback this Sunday, AJ, we have your back. Whether Reigns or the Usos, and if they become involved, we will have your back 100%. And AJ said, okay, I'm cool with this, And I have to say, after this, we had an awesome video package for Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. Props to the WWE production team. They usually do a great job with these video packages, and this one was great. It chronicled the friendship of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn when they started on the independent scene, eventually worked their way up. Talking about how Sami Zayn made his debut in NXT, Kevin Owens shortly thereafter, and the jealousy that would form from Kevin Owens, against his former friend Sami Zayn, turning on him at NXT, our Evolution, and the continuation of their feud in WWE. And now here we are, building into their match at Payback. Cannot wait for that match. It's going to be awesome. And this match, Sami Zayn versus Rusev, I really enjoyed this match. I think these two, you put them in the ring, they work well together. Sami Zayn, more of the quick, agile, underdog-like guy, going in there against the Bulgarian brute Rusev, who is also, Lana was at ringside, so it was great seeing Lana tonight, and she certainly did look good. But I thought this match between Rusev and Sami Zayn got enough time. I enjoyed it from start to finish. Sami did this nice moonsault onto Rusev off the barricade. I thought that was really cool. And towards the end of the match, Sami was able to get the roll-up on Rusev for the win. It came after Rusev hit the super kick on Sami, and it looked like Rusev was going to go for the accolade, but that's how Sami was able to get out of it, go underneath Rusev, and roll him up for the 3 count. And Lana, it was funny. She actually took her shoes, threw 2 of them at Sami Zayn, and I don't know if it was me, but it looked like Sami flicked her off. I don't know if that's what he meant to do, but that's what I thought he did. Then as Sami was walking back up to the entrance ramp, he had his back turned. Kevin Owens would attack him from behind and lay Sami out. So always having the one-upsmanship on Sami Zayn. Like I said, cannot wait for their match at Payback this Sunday. So solid match between Sami Zayn and Rusev. Then we had Apollo Crews versus Stardust. Fairly quick match. Another victory for Apollo Crews. He was able to hit the spin-out powerbomb for the win. Great to see that they're putting all this momentum behind Apollo Crews. Hopefully they have, big plans for him. So we'll have to see where they go from here. But it was a nice little match, I thought, between Apollo Crews and Stardust. Then after this, we had what I thought was a really, really good segment. Dean Ambrose comes out, cuts this really heartfelt promo. You're talking about how Sunday at Payback, they're done. There's going to be no more fun and games. Dean Ambrose is going to go in there, and he's going to take it to Chris Jericho, the 6-time world champion, the quote-unquote best in the world at what he does. Jericho has enough of this. He makes his way to the ring. He pretty much takes a verbal dump on the fans in Hartford tonight. He says, the city's a dump. You fans are a bunch of idiots for supporting a guy like Dean Ambrose. And like this, Jericho said, Ambrose, you should get down on your knees and kiss his, was it $1,500 boots, $750 per boot. You got to love heel Jericho. He's awesome. How can you not love heel Chris Jericho? Thank you all 3 viewers for watching. I appreciate that as well. So thanks for tuning in. But as I was saying, you knew where this segment was going. You knew Jericho and Ambrose were going to come to blows, and that's exactly what happened. Jericho would be, he wanted an apology from Ambrose, and Ambrose says, I'm sorry. And, I'm sorry. He says that he pretty much berates Jericho, and then Ambrose and Jericho start punching each other. They go to the outside of the ring. Ambrose throws Jericho on top of the announcer's table. Looks like he's going to potentially hit Dirty Deeds. However, Jericho has the game of one-upsmanship on Dean Ambrose, and this was really nice visual. He hit the walls of Jericho on Dean Ambrose on the announcer's table. So I thought this was a really effective segment, setting up what should be another solid match at Payback. Chris Jericho versus Dean Ambrose that I'm certainly looking forward to. We had a real quick match between Natalya and Emma. Natty was able to get the win after locking in the sharpshooter for the victory. Afterwards, it looks like Natalya and Charlotte are going to go at it, but Charlotte, being the smart heel champion, hides behind her father, Ric Flair. So this is a really quick match. I was hoping it would get more time. However, we understood why. What happened after this match, the lovely tribute video that WWE did for China. Rest in peace, China. This was very nice, very touching, fitting to do it during the women's match and segment afterwards. So this was a classy tribute from WWE, and props to them for doing a tribute video. So Then we had what was supposed to be a match between Damian Sandow versus Baron Corbin. I was like, holy shit, Damian Sandow, he's back on Monday Night Raw. I think this is only the second time he's been on Raw this whole year. Match didn't even get underway. As Baron Corbin was making his entrance, Dolph Ziggler would come from behind and sneak attack Baron Corbin. He'd beat the shit out of him and cause Baron Corbin to run away. So Ziggler able to get some retribution from Baron Corbin from what I think took place on SmackDown this past Thursday. Don't really know because I don't watch SmackDown. Don't have time to. But I thought this was effective. Further continuing the feud between Baron Corbin and Dolph Ziggler. And that match was officially announced at Payback this Sunday. So I think that'll be a nice addition to the Payback card overall. And they also announced Kalisto versus Ryback on the pre-show. But really, who cares about that match? So then we had The Miz and Maurice. They made their way to the ring. Miz pretty much talks about how he's bringing prestige back to the Intercontinental Championship. And then him and his wife, they start kissing in the ring. And then Cesaro makes his way to the ring, pretty much berates Miz, says that when he wins that Intercontinental Championship, Cesaro is going to bring prestige back. And I have to say, Miz here was kind of a really effective promo on the crowd. Thought he was really eating into the quote-unquote internet wrestling fans, like myself. And he was saying, oh, you make your Cesaro section signs and, you do your selfies and whatnot. And I thought Miz was really spot on here, was really getting the animosity from the crowd. And like I said, I'm really digging this pairing between him and Maurice. I think they're making it work. And I think him versus Cesaro, that'll be a nice, another solid matchup for the Intercontinental Championship on Sunday. Cesaro, well, Miz looked like he was going to try and sneak attack Cesaro, but Cesaro was able to hit him with an uppercut. And then it looked like he was going to go for the swing on Miz, but then Maurice shielded herself on top of Miz, and I was really hoping Cesaro swing both Miz and Maurice. How awesome of a visual would that be? But Cesaro walks out of the ring, so we didn't get that. But, an enjoyable segment, and like I said, really hoping Cesaro walks out as your new Intercontinental Champion on Sunday at Payback. But I'll get into that in my Payback predictions and previews video coming later this week. And then finally, we had Roman Reigns versus Alberto Del Rio. Can't tell you too much about this match because I was watching the Game 7 Hawks versus Blues. Hawks fell to the Blues 3-2, so still trying to get over the loss of that. Shout out to the Blues for being the better team in that series, and good luck facing Dallas in the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. But back to this match. I thought overall it was a really boring main event match. That's what I thought it was going to be. Nothing really too much to say. Reigns hits spear for the 3 count. The interesting thing was after the match, though, I liked how Anderson and Gallows came down to the ring. They attacked Reigns. Then Styles made his way to the ring. And Styles told Anderson and Gallows, get off him, get off him. And then Reigns hits Superman punch on AJ. And then Styles leaps off the top rope, hits a phenomenal forearm on Reigns. Anderson and Gallows are kind of smirking, and Styles is clutching at his jaw. So that's the way we end Raw, kind of on a cliffhanger. And I think it sets up nicely for Payback. Again, wondering who are Anderson and Gallows working for. My hope is that they turn Roman Reigns heel and link him up with Anderson and Gallows, form the Roman Empire. But we will see what they do this Sunday at WWE Payback. Overall, I thought tonight's episode of Raw, I enjoyed it pretty much from start to finish. And if I had to give it a grade, I would give it a B-. So a B- is the grade I'm giving tonight's episode of Raw. So those are my thoughts and opinions on Raw tonight. Let me know down in the comment section below what you guys thought of Raw. Always enjoy getting that feedback. Appreciate it. Thank you all for watching this live video review. Please click that like and subscribe button for more video content in the future. Be on the lookout this week for my Payback preview and predictions video. Will be up before the show on Sunday, and of course, after Payback, come tune in to my live Payback review. That should be up around 11 or 11:15. So until then, guys, take care, stay safe, peace.